Hey, this is Libby spilling all the political tea, straight politics, no chaser. You know, the go to for all your political needs. Think the Bodega Boys, but political. It's millennial politics served piping hot. Look, I'm cussing today, y'all. So if you don't like that, go on ahead, log out for me, move around now. Don't bother me, leave me alone. This shit is bananas. Bananas. This episode was supposed to drop, I don't know, 4 Sundays ago. But I've been totally disgusted by politics, specifically the politics of the Democratic Party, and I'm truly and utterly disturbed. So, with that being said, I almost denounced the party the other day. Um, since 2016, the year I graduated from college, and the year my idol, Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton, lost the election, and I lost too because I worked for her, I haven't been this disturbed. Everything I was taught in political science at the Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs was severely upended, and I'm truly floored and flabbergasted. And frankly, if I had recorded the episode on the day it was supposed to be released, it would have been a mixture between me blubbering between tears, full on rage, and severe disappointment. Since then, I quasi accepted the deplorable actions of those in the Democratic Party and leadership. And here we are, and here it goes. Welcome. Let's break down my dismay, disdain, disgust, and disappointment. Because once again, my country has forsaken me. So apparently, presidents are disposable. Who would have thunk it? While simultaneously, half of folks are ageist and ableist, and the other half are racist and xenophobic, which leads to an interesting conundrum in politics that we have these days. On Sunday, July 21st, Biden decided and announced 1 hour later that he was not running for re-election and that he would be endorsing his VP, Kamala Harris, for president. Mind blown. This was after he said several times that he would not drop out unless he got hit by a train. And he literally said just that. What made him change his mind? Well, apparently numerous leaders within the Dem Party pressured him to step down in hopes of an open convention, as the Dems had in 1968, 1972, 1980, all of which were a disaster and resulted in us losing the election. Some folks also wanted Manchin and Newsom to run for office. It was a shit show, basically. Apparently, whenever Dems have a convention in Chicago, we lose or something bad happens. So here we go with our convention being in Chicago. Allegedly, if Biden had failed to step down as a Democratic candidate, he was told by Nancy Pelosi that the rhetoric would get publicly hostile towards him and that he did not have a great polling numbers to beat Trump, which is bullshit. Who looks at polls in July? Polls are irrelevant this early, especially before the DNC even happened. Anyway, after being badgered for weeks, I guess Biden said F it and decided to walk away, but not without endorsing his vice president, which folks did not want him to do. I wonder why. Sounds like misogynoir. Now, I saw this BS as I opened the Instagram app and my heart dropped. I thought it was a hoax. Then it was confirmed on Twitter and I lost it. I actually cried. And not only did I cry that day, I cried every damn day since. I cry every time I think about it because it's truly cruel and unusual punishment for a man that dedicated his life, 54 years to be exact, his entire adult life to public service, to serving this country. This is a slap in the face and disrespectful to a dutiful and loyal servant of the people. You evil bastards. Oh, I'm happy I can laugh about this now because 4 years ago I went to swing. 4 weeks ago I went to swing on some people. Okay. This feels like Hillary all over again, like a death in a betrayal. It also shows y'all don't understand nor sympathize with the plight and nature of the elderly at all. And it shows. Yes, they slow down. Yes, we are all slowing down. I'm 30, and in the words of my gullah step grandfather, I'm just like the rooster. Don't crow like I used to. I'm getting old. But that doesn't mean one is incompetent or not cognitive. Y'all are evil. Somebody called this country, somebody on Twitter called this country the United States of Antics. And that is what it is. Al Gore was ready to fight tooth and nail, and y'all told him, no, Democrats don't roll like that. The same with Hillary in 2016. Y'all let John Kerry get blackmailed for some BS in 2004. Y'all snaked Hillary in 2008 and let her be scapegoated for some damn emails in 2016. And now y'all railroaded Biden. What the actual fuck? Had this man fight in 3 coups, one externally with Trump, one internally with his own party, and one on the fringes with the media. It was all too much. I would have told y'all to kiss my 80-year-old ass too. 81 to be exact. And since we are getting rid of old people, guess who gotta go next? Haha, all the vanguards have to go. The time is now. Time's up. It's time for Gen X, unfortunately, and millennials to take our rightful place as the leaders and the center of politics, as opposed to being on the peripheral. It is time for us to officially play ball. Everybody else needs to either retire because you are indeed too old, or shut the fuck up because you are indeed too young. The end. Allegedly, leading this charge to get Biden out was, are you ready? Nancy Pelosi, Speaker Emeritus of the House, my former idol. Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Leader from New York, my senator. Adam Schiff, U.S. Congressional Rep for California. And this one was a shocker. Barack Hussein Obama, former president and Biden's BFF. What happened to the bromance? With that being said, if any or all of them were involved with this coup, which we have confirmed the first 3 definitely were involved, they can all go to hell. Thanks. I have lost all respect for Nancy and Chuck. If you had told me that a year ago or 6 weeks ago that I would despise them, I would say never. Yeah, that died quickly. To snake a man that was minding his business in Delaware playing with his grandkids while the country was literally burning the fuck up and ran a race against a demagogue and won, fix this country in ways we didn't think possible, and then turn around and tell him to dismiss himself because of BS polls and donors? I'll be goddamn. Y'all are Judas reincarnated. Period. What party is this? Is this the Democratic Party or the Republican Party? Because this is not what I learned in political science classes in college. This is not what I learned in AP history in high school. And this is not what I learned in studying presidential history for over 30 years. Y'all are vipers and snakes now. Schumer, Schiff, Nancy, and Jamie all have to go, period. Get cozy in them seats and offices because it will not last long. I never wanted Jamie as the party chair. I knew he was weak and could be easily persuaded and bullied. Now back to Nancy. She recently did this nice, nasty interview on Morning Joe, stating that Biden hasn't spoken to her since he made the decision to step down and that she mentors a lot of people, but Kamala isn't one of them because she didn't ask. What? Bro, Nancy, get out now before folks really lose all confidence and respecting you. and you ruin your almost unblemished reputation. Just get the fuck out now, quick, or at least shut up. Biden gave you the presidential medal and you backstab him? Wow, Biden needs to walk out to Backstabbers by the OJs. Night one of the convention, he needs to just walk out to that because y'all look crazy. Apparently, the tea is Nancy never liked Kamala when they were in California together, and Feinstein didn't like Kamala either. And there's bad blood on both sides. Well, that was news to me. But now that I think about it, it makes sense. You really ever see Nancy and Kamala together? Maybe she's mad that a young black woman outranks her, or on some Karen-esque Becky-ish. Should we start calling Nancy capital Karen? Questions that need answers. Now, the tea on that is that President Biden watches Morning Joe. So he said that snake shit in front of the world and him, knowing he would be watching. Yeah, she will definitely not be a favorite in Kamala's administration. And she needs to exit with dignity and grace, as she asked Biden to do. Rep. Hakeem Jeffries has been well groomed by her, and he can lead the House Dems solo. As she is older than Biden, fun fact, she is 84 and Biden is 81. So let's just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Now let us break this down. This BS specifically regarding Obama. What white boy from Scranton, Pennsylvania, let me clarify, what Irish boy from Scranton, Pennsylvania would support a mixed race black boy with a funny name and pie in the sky brilliance from Hawaii that lived in Thailand, that went to school in New York and raised his family in Chicago? I'll let that marinate. I'm big on loyalty. And this man was loyal to you for 8 years. And you couldn't be loyal for 3 weeks. In the words of Jay-Z, when you see a snake in the grass, you wait on the ass. And we will wait until 2026. What happens in the House stays in the House. Why did I have to sign on Instagram and see Biden not running for re-election on the Shade Room? I thought it was a hoax, a very late, poorly planned BS April Fool's joke. Family business is just that, family business. You don't air your dirty laundry on a sitting president in front of the globe. That's dishonorable. That's disrespectful and disloyal to him, your party, and your country, especially when a damn demagogue is running for re-election against him. It's unadulterated, truly unprecedented times. Obama has 1 foot in and 1 foot out. He needs to be all in or all out. The Clintons have always been all in, and they stand on that. So if Obama wants to be a private citizen and live a private life, then do so. But this half in shit and half out ain't working. These backdoor deals ain't working either. Stand firmly on business or mind your business. Live your best life, because your job, Mr. President, has been up. And decide quickly. There's no reason on God's green earth why it took him so long to endorse Kamala. None. That whole waiting until the nomination is official was BS. Time is of the essence. A rapist and child molester is running for office for the 3rd time. And between the jackasses and Russian operatives, he might just win. Then what? The least you can do right now is throw your support to the black lady, furiously defend her, and rally the troops for her. That's the least, like the Clintons quickly did. This is fucked up. I knew politics was no cakewalk and no sandbox. I knew it was the trenches and the sewer, but goddamn, I never thought the Democratic Party was the gutter. And if it is, I want no parts. I'll denounce the party today. We're supposed to be above the fray, not vipers in a pit. I'd rather us be the party of pussies than be the party of venom. My, how things have changed since my last episode. Went from pussies to serpents real quick. Biden quoted Harry S. Truman in his campaign speech a few weeks ago. If you want a friend in Washington, get a dog. Well, damn. Someone on Twitter said, and I quote, Obama's legacy is being deeply damaged by the revelation that his closest advisors, white men, all have wound up to be violently racist and misogynist. We already knew about the misogyny. They flocked to him because he was a man and they despised Hillary for being a woman. But now we know that they are at the heart of the whites-only causes, the bigoted white Democrats who want a white Democrat to succeed Joe Biden. End quote. Ooh, that person was reading for filth. And someone else added on Twitter, they thought working for him gave them a not a racist out of jail free card for the rest of their lives. End quote. And yeah, if there wasn't so much excitement for Kamala, there would be fights and brawls at the Democratic National Convention. There should be, really, because this is all bullshit. The whole damn thing. Every time you spin the wheel is BS. Y'all pulled the coup on my president, and I will never, ever forget it. This is unforgivable. Never forget the Ides of July. Who would have thought it? I hope someone yells out Snake and Judas when they see the culprits at convention later on this month. Like, for real. Now, there are still folks that want an open convention, but the excitement around Kamala drowned that out. And the fact that she has raised more money in 24 hours than any other candidate in history. Let's go, Black Girl Magic. Let's go. 81 million to be exact, and 310 million and counting since she announced. Also, since she announced, there have been several Zoom calls by different demographics fundraising for Kamala. And frankly, I love to see it. Folks are tight. When Black women organize and mobilize, you have a problem. Circa 1960 civil rights movement. We did all the work then too and got progress. Somebody tweeted, God wanted Trump to live so he can lose to a Black woman. End quote. Y'all are wild. The pundits are calling this the most successful rollout of a presidential candidate in years. The vanguards tried it and they won by getting Biden out, but they will never ever win by getting another all-white ticket. Ha ha ha. That will never ever happen again. Win-win. Do you think the electorate is stupid? Did you think we were going to replace an old white man with another old or middle-aged white man? The fucking audacity and gall of you people. And I know you didn't think we would rally behind another white woman after Black women voted 94% for Hillary and white women voted 45% for her. Y'all are never getting, let me be clear, y'all are never ever getting a white woman for president, ever. Hillary was the most qualified white woman on the planet to be president. And y'all didn't want her, so you ain't getting nobody else. You're not getting nobody less qualified than her. The first woman president will be a half Jamaican, half Indian Black girl from Cali that went to Howard University and pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. That's how you know she Black. But anyway, you tight. That pipe dream is dead, and you have no one to blame but yourself. Congratulations. Now everyone wants to tout that Biden is the greatest president in modern history and since FDR. No fucking duh. We've been said that. And now it is coming out that 1 hour before he decided not to run, he was working on a deal to free the American journalists held hostage in Russia. and they are home now. So let me get this straight. While y'all were trying to bully my president out of his pulpit, he was still working for the American people. Yeah, it is definitely a fuck you in 2026. Just wait. We are cleaning house. I will spend my last dollar to make sure they get primary. Since when does Ocasio support Biden's presidency and Nancy doesn't? What world are we living in? Like, none of this was on my 2024 bingo card. This is wild. This tweet sums it up perfectly. And I quote, "They don't hate him because he's old. They don't hate him because he's Catholic. They don't hate him because he stutters. They hate him because he trusts Black people and wants to see Black success. Never ever let them gloss it over or claim that's not it. It is it. All of it." Ooh, end quote. My sentiments precisely. Remember in Delaware back in the day, if Black people were called the N-word by white people, they would tell Biden and Biden would punch them in the face, allegedly. But this was low-key, high-key confirmed. So with that information, do as you please. Please note, in 124 years, there was only one time a Democrat incumbent did not win their re-election bid. And that was 1980 with Jimmy Carter, when Democrats were jackasses and tried to get Ted Kennedy in. So I never ever want to hear that Biden wasn't going to win. Y'all are pathological liars. This past week, Kamala officially had the delegates to be named the official nominee during the virtual roll call. Reverend Al Sharpton called to congratulate her, and he was told by someone, "I don't know if America is ready for a Black woman to be president." Sharpton responded by stating, "America wasn't ready for us to be off the plantation. It's not about what the country is ready for. It's about what we are ready for." End quote. Leave it to a preacher to give a sermon, child. Kamala also tweeted after she announced she was running the following, and I quote, "I prosecuted sex predators. Trump is one. I shut down for-profit scam colleges. He ran one. I held big banks accountable. He's owned by them. I'm not just prepared to take on Trump, I'm prepared to be him." End quote. Well, damn, Madam Vice President, go off. Now, there were concerns about who Kamala would choose as a vice president. Quick sidebar, y'all never gave a damn about a vice president until a Black woman got the job. And I'm going to keep saying that. Anyway, as we all know, she has to choose. She doesn't have to, but she does, She has to choose a white man as vice president. And it has turned into the bachelorette of sorts, or what Twitter is calling the Veep stakes. There were lots of men vying for the office of vice president. The short list was Josh Shapiro, Andrew Beshear, Tim Walz, Mark Kelly, Pete Buttigieg. Now, in essence of time, I could sit here and state why I like who I like, but I will just say this. I wanted her to choose Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, but apparently 2 politicians from Cali can't be in the White House. I hoped she'd choose Josh Shapiro, and I prayed she did not choose Pete Buttigieg. For the love of God, that man is insufferable to me. I'm still shocked his ass ran for president. Like, who the fuck are you, bro? And I don't know. Biden looks at him like a son, and apparently Biden said he reminds him of Bo, but Pete is no Bo. Okay? Well, it is official. Kamala chose Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota. He is a vet, former educator, and the highest ranking military personnel to ever serve in Congress, as he was a congressional rep for some years as well. Fun fact, he named a day after Beyonce in Minnesota and a highway after Prince. Sounds like my kind of guy. Not my first choice. He was my last choice. But I like him. They had their first event together the other day in Philly with over 10,000 people in attendance. And it was everything. He is the younger Biden. He ate Trump up and JD Vance. I love it. Good choice, Kamala. At the rally, Tim made the wildest joke. He said, and I quote, "I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. See what I did there?" End quote. He is wild. Kamala was trying to control her laughter, but she couldn't. The crowd was in an uproar. He's funny. He has the dad jokes. I'm here for it. Sidebar, JD Vance is now saying he's willing to debate after refusing, but he will only debate Kamala, not Tim. ¿Qué? Republicans change more rules than the Supremacy Court. They really do. Kamala did another rally this week where she was heckled several times by pro-Palestine activists. Now the tea is, the main activist is allegedly the sister of, drumroll please, Rep. Omar, a member of the squad. Y'all know I hate them. They're some damn ops. But this hasn't been confirmed yet. I don't think that's her sister, but who knows? That's what they were saying on Twitter. But I could not get that confirmed anyway, so I don't think that's her sister. But if it is, that's wild. But what kills me is they never protest at Trump or Vance rallies. I wonder why. Just like 2016, Black Lives Matter didn't protest at Trump and Pence rallies. Interesting. Apparently, Kamala spoke to them before the event and they still heckled her. So, F them. I'm so sick of the watermelon brigade. It's not even funny. Somebody tweeted, "Where was the watermelon crew when Netanyahu visited Mar-a-Lago? You know, the actual leader of Israel?" End quote. Exactly. They're idiots. Kamala responded by stating the third time they interrupted her speech. And according to the Detroit Free Press, and I quote, "You know what?" she said. "If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking." She then delivered a withering stare at the protesters and did not relent for some time. And they were escorted out. And out. My sentiments precisely, Madam Vice President. See, America, with 3 Ks, you are about to get a crash course in what is like growing up with a black mom. No games will be had nor played at all. Mamala is here. Y'all have no clue what y'all in for with a black woman as president. You are in for a rude awakening. You don't know what law and order is, but you are about to find out. Watch the clip. It's hilarious. She told them off. Somebody tweeted, "You can talk about how she doesn't have biological kids all you want, but that's a black mom right there." End quote. Boom. There it is. But now people are criticizing her for her response. But enough is enough. These people are sickening. Like, what do you want? She spoke to them before the event. She addressed them when they interrupted her twice. Like, what? Kamala wants a ceasefire. Her and Biden are working on it. They've been working on it. What the fuck do you want? What do you want? Just like Black Lives Matter, when they cornered Hillary at her event, and she asked them what they wanted, and they didn't say a word. You could hear a rat pissing on cat, and they didn't say nothing. Idiot asses. All they had to say is they want police to stop killing us. That's all they had to say. They couldn't articulate that. Everybody full of shit and need to shut the fuck up. Let the professionals that get shit done do their job. Anna Navarro, co-host of The View, said it best on Twitter. "I don't know much about Tim Walz. As long as he hasn't shot a puppy, stabbed a dead bear cub, or attacked cat owners, and there are no rumors about him and a porn star or furniture, I'm good with him." End quote. Same, sis, same. I'm disgusted about folks snaking Biden and Shapiro and Newsom not getting vice president. So at this point, Inauguration Day can't come fast enough for me. I am over all this BS. Now the tea is that it came down between Tim and my choice, Shapiro. But Shapiro screwed himself over. Shapiro gave a speech or something last week, the week before last, and it appeared that his team was trying to make him bigger than Kamala, and that the media began to say things like Kamala should defer to Shapiro for X, Y, Z, and he's so experienced. If he's chosen as her VP, basically, if she had chose him, her leadership would be undermined, and folks would show favor to him and deference to him as VP than her as president. You know, the typical corporate minimization of Black women in leadership. So I guess her team said, and went with the safer, less ambitious option. Fun fact, Kamala and Tim are the same age, both being 60 years old. And to that I say, Black don't crack. That's how you know she Black. Look at her standing next to Tim. That's it. That's all you need. Love him, but yeah. And for Trump and all those saying Kamala isn't Black, please shut the fuck up. Is this the birther movement part 2? Because this is eerily similar to what Trump did to Obama and how we all got in this mess in the first place. Anyway, comedian D.L. Hughley said it best on Twitter, of course. To those of you who say Kamala Harris is not Black, she is Black enough for old white dudes to call her a DE higher. End quote. Well, he also tweeted, first, if you had just one drop of Black blood, you were considered tainted. You were Black. Now, even when half your DNA is Black, you're not. Dear America, please make up your mind. End quote. And I concur. Let's put this to bed for the love of God. Kamala's Indian mother said that she raised her 2 daughters with help from a community of Black women as little Black girls because she knew that was how the world would view them because of their skin complexion, features, etc. The end. Plies tweeted it. Anytime you hear a person say somebody isn't Black, all they trying to say is it ain't no way this person could have accomplished this being Black. It's certain things they just feel like Black folks can't accomplish. End quote. I couldn't have said it better, Plies. Like, it got so bad, Kamala's husband's ex-wife is defending Kamala on her Twitter account because y'all are attacking her because she checks notes, doesn't have biological children. A lot of women in power don't have children because they're smart. If they do have children, they have 1 or 2 and be done with it. Hillary has 1 kid. Michelle has 2 kids. Jill Biden has 1 bio kid. Oprah, no kids. Cut the shit. Kamala's stepdaughter also took to Twitter to defend her too. And a Black woman on Twitter said, no president has given birth, so she fits right in. End quote. Leave it to a Black woman to put things in perspective. Then someone else tweeted, this election is essentially America's fun aunt and America's fun dad versus a convicted felon and your weird cousin. End quote. Lord, well, that's essentially the election in a nutshell if you really want to sum it up. Wait, there is more. Now they got Kamala's ex from 20 years ago, the former fine, Lord, that man fine, talk show host, Montel Williams, doing press runs, Jesus. When I run for office, if y'all put any of my exes on the TV, Lord, I'm going to crash the fuck out. I'm going postal. Let me tell you, this is why NDAs are imperative. Jesus. Then they dug up her other ex, Willie Brown. I cannot. Don't do it to me. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now. Then there are idiots, people saying Kamala denies her Indian heritage. And someone tweeted, because there is always a tweet, if Kamala was trying to deny her Indian heritage, she would have changed her name to Nikki. Ooh. Lord Jesus, take me in the political wheel right now, honey. Just take me. Take the wheel. I cannot. But that is tea, though. Didn't Nikki Haley change her name to be whitewashed? I mean, assimilate? That's tea. Then someone else tweeted, Donald Trump is also mixed. He's Scottish on his mom's side and a Klansman on his dad's side. End quote. And that is factual tea. That is actually factual. Look, I will leave this subject with a quote from the prolific Black woman writer Toni Morrison, whom never missed. The very serious function of racism is distraction. It keeps you from doing your work. It keeps you explaining over and over again your reason for being. Somebody says you have no language and you spend 20 years proving that you do. Somebody says your head isn't shaped properly, so you have scientists working on the fact that it is. Somebody says you have no art, so you dredge that up. Somebody says you have no kingdoms, so you dredge that up. None of this is necessary. There will always be one more thing. End quote. Well said. Now, this is my favorite part of the episode, which I call BFFR, like make it make sense. I think it's self-explanatory. While the dumbass Dems were trying to usher Biden out, the Republicans had the debauchery, yes, a lot of D words today, that was the Republican National Convention. And debauchery it was. Damn, it has been so long and so much has happened since then. I almost forgot that BS happened. Anyway, here are the highlights. Amber Rose and Hulk Hogan made asses of themselves as speakers for the RNC. The executive of the gay dating app Grindr said the RNC is, and I quote, basically Grindr's Super Bowl, end quote. Well, I'll be damned. The party of high Christian morals is also the party of, checks notes, the gay Super Bowl? Lord, send the flood, but make it make sense first. The app apparently had an approximate, are you ready for this shit? They had an approximate 350% increase in use during the RNC. Now sip that tea. Ladies, if your husband was at the RNC, you can't make this up. Okay. Melania didn't speak and only showed up on the last night. I guess her check cleared, honey, but it wasn't big enough to get a speech. And she had no one to steal a speech from. Sip that 2019 tea. Ivanka also didn't make a big appearance. Maybe it's because she and her husband are under investigation for being part of Trump's administration and receiving foreign monies. Somebody said on Twitter that DEI hire stands for Don, Eric, and Ivanka. And I fell out. Like, that's the real DEI hire. And a British person tweeted that they didn't know what DEI hire meant, but it must mean an unqualified hire. So that means it's meant for them. Y'all are hilarious. Don't let America and UK Twitter link up, because we either gonna argue or we gonna laugh. They yelled F Joe Biden during the convention, while the media simultaneously stated that Republicans would lower the temperature on rhetoric since Trump's shooting. Psych. Media failure, per usual. They also handed out deportation now signs during the convention. Speaking of the shooting, Trump wore that damn improperly placed maxi pad on his ear the whole time, and his supporters followed suit by doing the same. Goddamn idiots. Seeing them all with paper or tape or gauze or whatever on their ears literally killed me. It literally, I needed a drink, boy. I needed an alcoholic beverage to watch that mess. And I watched it sober. It was terrible. Someone tweeted, Biden is the one that took a bullet for democracy, not Trump. End quote. And whew, that was a message and a word. Someone else tweeted, so they won't wear masks because it makes them look stupid, but they're wearing maxi pads on their ears. End quote. And that's the Republican Party in a nutshell, folks. Pure lunacy. Then someone tweeted, I honestly feel like so many people instantly understood that there was something very off, but we can't come to terms with the presidential candidate possibly faking an assassination attempt. So we just collectively decided it didn't happen. End quote. That's basically what happened. And the media refuses to do their job in some investigative reporting to find out the truth. So here we are. The Teamsters president spoke at the RNC, the first time a Teamsters president ever spoke at a party convention. His speech was given Jimmy Hoffa, really, and the Irishman. And we all know how that went. They still ain't find Jimmy yet. Anyway, Trump fell asleep every night during the convention, and not one media outlet called him the Sleepy Orange. Not one. Wait, let me go back to Amber real quick. Amber would never get that platform at the DNC because we are upstanding citizens, or so I thought. Anyway, she knows that, and that's why she did it. And since when is she a rapper? Question that needs answers. Did y'all see the rap video she did for Trump? Bruh, old girl apparently is being investigated for fraud. Bitcoin fraud, or one of them coins. And that's why I'm not into the Bitcoin, that whole debacle. You ain't gonna get my money. But anyway, and that's why she's capping for Trump. You know the criminally innate always stick together, child. Birds of a feather. Anyway, Trump's bipolar rant that the RNC is trying to pass off as a speech was deplorable and scatterbrained. He needs to step aside for the good of democracy. He really does. If y'all got my Biden out of here, y'all got to get Trump, because this don't even make sense. Hulk Hogan's speech was better, and that isn't saying much because that shit was terrible. Trump literally slurred his words, but Biden needed to drop out for debating with COVID. I cannot. Someone tweeted, you watched that RNC speech last night and understood why his own party is shooting at him, didn't you? End quote. Basically, like, y'all look like fools supporting this man. I hope y'all know that. Trump also chose J.D. Vance as his running mate, the junior U.S. Senator from Ohio, who allegedly humps couches. What the actual fuck? Trump has reportedly since regretted this decision and wants to get rid of Vance. Rep. Clyburn said it best, and I quote, there is bad chemistry between Trump and Vance, and it's going to get worse. End quote. And that Gullah man never lies. You know, Gullah people, we tell the truth. The Republican Party is on its last hurrah. They have been imploding since Bush Jr. and the Tea Party days. So good luck to them. A little about J.D. Vance. He supports a nationwide ban on abortion. He advocated against exceptions for rape and incest. He wants women to stay in violent marriages. He said he would not have certified the 2020 election results. He called Social Security and Medicare the biggest roadblocks to any kind of real fiscal sanity. He praised Project 2025 agenda. And this was all tweeted by California Governor Gavin Newsom. Thank you, Gavin. J.D. Vance also lied about being from Appalachia. Who lies about where they are from? Very weird. Then Hillary Clinton affirmed my statement when she said, sidebar, Hillary be tweeting y'all. She got time since y'all didn't vote her in, and she's not repping up her second term right now. So here we are. She said, and I quote, If Republican leaders don't enjoy being called weird, creepy, and controlling, they could try not being weird, creepy, and controlling. End quote. Well, that is indeed an option. See what kind of president y'all could have had with Hillary? She is hilarious and so matter of fact. I hate y'all for slighting her. Nobody deserved the presidency more than Hillary and Biden. Period. Argue with JD Vance's crackhead mama. We will get more into that in a little bit. That tea is piping hot. Then Plies tweeted because he be on it and he watches every rally, debate, interview. Who would have thunk it? He said, and I quote, "Weird equals wacky, extremist, incompetent Republican dictators," end quote. Check notes. No lies told. The Russian foreign minister endorsed Vance as vice president. Oh, wait, back to the tea about his mama. The tea is that Vance's mother stole prescription drugs when she was a nurse from her patients. So he's the product of a crackhead. I am done. And yes, I said crack. Because anything that's not cannabis is crack to me. Even certain alcohols is crack to me. So yes, he is the product of a crackhead. I am done. Y'all had so much to say about Hunter Biden. Now look, it's crickets. Okay. Oh, and his wife is Indian. So Republicans coming for Kamala and y'all potential VPs, kids are mixed race. Also, Vance was a never Trumper. He bashed Trump to hell the previous times he ran for office. I wonder what happened or how big his check was or what dirt Trump has on him. JD Vance literally tweeted in 2016, and I quote, "What percentage of the American population has Donald Trump sexually assaulted?" End quote. The tweet has since been deleted. You can't make this shit up, folks. Look, Keith Boykin said it best on Twitter. JD Vance is the most unqualified, inexperienced major party vice presidential candidate since Sarah Palin. End quote. That's about right. And just like McCain regretted picking Sarah, Trump is regretting picking Vance. Overall, the RNC gave an appearance of unity while the Dems sank into chaos, but there is a reason for that. And Philip Rucker on MSNBC said it best. The appearance of unity at the RNC is because all the anti-MAGA elements have been purged. Do we forget why Trump needed a new VP? There's no Mitt Romney, no Liz Cheney, no Michael Steele. Those reporting on the veneer of unity should be constantly noting this. End quote. But overall, they aren't. Please note, none of Trump's former cabinet was at the RNC. None. Think about it. Why? They either hate him, are in jail, or fighting legal battles because of him. The bottom line of the RNC was, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? And the answer is, hell yes, under Joseph Robinette Biden Jr.'s leadership. The week of the RNC and Biden stepping down was the most insane week in political history. And as a millennial, I lived through COVID, Ebola, 9/11, Hillary's emails, Barack's tan suit gate, Trump, Al Gore being robbed, Kenneth Starr going after Bill Clinton, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Ukraine, Sarah Palin, inflation, a recession, 2 New York blackouts, and 2 New York earthquakes. But that week took the fucking cake. I didn't know if I was going or coming. It was just too much. The rapper Plies said it best on Twitter. It must be pretty easy to be a Republican candidate because the Republican convention been going on 3 days and they ain't rolled out no policy plans yet. Their base don't even care. They care more about how much they hate the other side. They just need to hear it's the Democrats' fault. End quote. Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. The only good thing about the RNC was that they spent the entire time unknowingly bashing a president that wasn't running for re-election. Moo ha 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 ha. Politics is chess, not checkers. On a side note, Trump has declined to debate Kamala on ABC. He literally refuses unless in some foreign world she debates him on Fox News or at one of his rallies. Yeah. Yeah, Kamala said she will be at the debate regardless if he is there or not. And if he doesn't show, I guess it will be a town hall of sorts or whatever. RFK Jr. Yes, he is still running and apparently illegally killing bears and leaving them to be ran over. Did when he had his own presidential debate alone a few weeks ago when Trump and Biden had theirs. Apparently, he did just agree to the debate on September 10th, so let's see. Don't hold your breath. Someone tweeted, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" To avoid debating Kamala Harris. End quote. I love a good political jokey joke. The political nerd in me, I really do. A Pennsylvania swing state voter was asked if he was looking forward to Harris debating Trump, and he said, and I quote, "Absolutely. I'm hoping she'll just eat him alive." End quote. Me too. Next subject. NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists, didn't invite, I don't know what the fuck they did, but they allowed Trump to speak at their convention last week. And of course, it was a disaster. Shocker. I didn't watch it because it shouldn't have happened. Period. Plain blank. Next. In European news, the Olympics just ended in Paris, and Black girls, per usual, were winning. Shout out to all the Black girls that won and all the countries with their unique apparel. Love to see it. 2 fun facts about the Olympics. This was the first time the Olympics was 50% women since women were allowed into the 1900 Olympics in Paris. Rebecca Andrade, Simone Biles, and Jordan Childs, all gymnasts, were the first Black women in history to share the top 3 spots in an Olympics. Congratulations to them. I love the photo of them standing on the podium. The Black girl magic at the Olympics was truly unmatched. Now wait. Somebody tweeted Team USA's uniforms made them look like bullies from a very expensive private school, which is accurate. Then someone else tweeted, "It's giving Slytherin." Yo, y'all. Oh, wow. That's a Harry Potter joke if you didn't know. Anyway, Lord, give my fellow alum Ralph Lauren a break. He went to my high school, okay? He old too. And I like the design. Next time, I hope he does a little bit better. Though, like, he needed his HBCU campaign for the Olympics because that was amazing. Or that dress he made for Melania for the inauguration, he should have did something like that. I don't know. Ralph always eats. Maybe he was tired this year. Leave him alone. In other European news, Lord, I hate talking about them over the pond, but they always popping off. So according to Wikipedia, yes, Wikipedia, that's how much I don't care about what they got going on. I'm using Wikipedia. The far right riots have taken place in various parts of England and in Northern Ireland since July 30th, which has been the worst public disturbance since the 2011 England riots. The riots have featured looting, arson, and racist attacks after a mass stabbing of children in Southport on July 29th. Nigeria, Malaysia, Australia, Indonesia, the UAE, India, and the US have all issued travel warnings for the UK. And their royals haven't come out and said boo bye squat diddly. But I thought the UK wasn't racist, they said when Princess Meghan faced all the hate. More European news. Lord, Europe is turned up these days. Damn, it's like their hemisphere and our hemisphere are competing for who can crash out first. Lord, newly elected members of the French Parliament refused to shake hands with their far-right colleagues. And one of them even did a rock, paper, scissors psych with the far right rep waiting to shake his hand. Go on YouTube and watch the clip. It's hilarious. The world is sick of the far right, and I love to see it. Some good news. Professor Lichtman, the guy that predicts presidential elections, made an early prediction about the presidential election, and he believes Kamala will win because she has the majority of the keys on his rubric to be president. She currently has 6 and Trump has 3. However, he will not confirm his prediction until after the Democratic National Convention later this month. Yay, Black Girls Rock. Some more good news. Puerto Rico's governor signed a law that prohibits discrimination against people with afros, curls, locks, twists, braids, etc. Meanwhile, back at the Literal Ranch in Texas, a federal judge dismissed most of the claims in a lawsuit filed by a Black Texas high school student who alleged that school officials had violated his civil rights by insisting he cuts his hair to fit school policy and suspending him multiple times. Let that marinate. Honorable mention, U.S. Rep. Sheila Jackson of Texas died recently. VP Kamala Harris gave her eulogy, and President Biden visited the city to see her lie in state. Rep. Jackson is one of the reasons why we have Juneteenth as a holiday. Thank you, ma'am, for that. Please note, one of her last tweets was for the party to rally around Biden. And y'all forsaked her wishes. Shaking my head. In a statement, the Congressional Black Caucus praised Jackson as a titan and stalwart who was a fierce advocate for social and economic justice, national and homeland security, energy independence, and children and working families. End quote. Rest in peace to her. She will be missed. Another honorable mention, Jimmy Carter. Y'all know I am a Jimmy Carter Democrat. Y'all snaked him like y'all did Biden. He would have been an exceptional president with an amazing second term if he wasn't snaked, but I digress. Jimmy Carter's 100th birthday is approaching as his health declines, and his goal is, and I quote, "I'm only trying to make it to vote for Kamala Harris," end quote. Wow. Someone tweeted, "A man born 100 years ago in Georgia trying to live long enough to vote for a Black woman for president," end quote. I concur. That is truly profound. Jimmy was always the good guy. I hope he gets his wish. Now, here are all the things I didn't get to. Biden did a press conference regarding the hostages being free, and a dumbass reporter, a reporter asked, and I quote, "Trump has said he could have gotten the hostages out without giving anything in exchange. What do you say?" End quote. And Dark Brandon, the president, responded with, and I quote, "Then why didn't he do it when he was president?" End quote. And see, y'all gonna get a different Biden these next 5 months. Y'all gonna get Dark Brandon, and I love to see it. Apparently, Trump is hoping for a recession, or for the hostages not to be freed, or for the peace deal with Israel not to go through so that Biden's administration can look bad and Kamala's campaign can suffer. And someone said, "Doesn't that sound like Reagan?" See, when you don't learn the lesson, history will repeat itself. Fun fact, did you know J.D. Vance wrote the foreword to Project 2025? Did you read the racist Republican manifesto yet? If not, do so preferably by Election Day to see what the demagogues have in store for our country. This makes it so interesting, especially since the Trump campaign and many Republicans are trying to distance themselves from the document. But a photo of Trump and Kevin Roberts, the author of Project 2025, flying on Trump's private jet has now surfaced, so there is no more denying. Vance also attempted to bum rush Kamala on the tarmac this week when she was on her way to a rally. He parked his plane next to hers and hastily approached, talking shit to the press about her. And when her motorcade approached, he ran away. I'ma tell y'all like Black people told y'all under Obama. Y'all better leave our Black vice president alone, or else Y'all pushing for a civil war in this country, and y'all will fuck around and find out. What's that quote? Be happy black people want equality and not revenge. Leave that black lady alone. He was walking like he was fitting to bust a move. He was walking real aggressive. I don't like that. No, 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 no. We not having none of that. Now, since Vance said Kamala doesn't answer questions from press, she is now answering their BS questions on the tarmac. Now, what else y'all got to say about this lady? Biden is opening the DNC with a primetime speech. The evening is set to highlight his legacy and achievements. Well deserved, Mr. President. But it's still a goddamn shame what they did to you, and I will never get over it. Apparently, Marianne Williamson, yes, the crazy Caucasian lady that tried to run for president in 2019, wanted to challenge Kamala this time as well. But she ended her bid after a few days. She's an idiot. And frankly, I didn't even know she was running till it was over. Oh, I'm done. Speaking of idiot asses that ran in 2019, I can't make this up. I can't do this. Let me read this again so you get the full brevity of what I'm trying to say. Speaking of idiot asses that ran in 2019, Bernie, the sexist and racist decrepit Looney Tune that only wins elections on name recognition, is leading a hate campaign against Kamala. Shocker. He loved Biden, but hates Kamala. Sounds familiar? Circa 2016, when he didn't concede to Hillary. To this day, he did not concede. Somebody called Bernie a killjoy misogynist on Twitter, and not one lie was told. He is. He just comes out the woods with his nonsense. Pause. Why did somebody say on Twitter, black people rejected Vermont Jesus 3 times. Nobody likes him. End quote. Not Vermont Jesus. I'm a whole Buddhist and I'm offended. Stop playing with Sky Daddy's only son like that. That's not funny. Bernie is the Vermont vulture, the Vermont Tales of the Crypt, not Vermont Jesus. Jesus actually did shit. He turned wine into water, or water into wine. Bernie is more like the skeleton from the TV show The Tales of the Crypt. He just popped out, introduced a scary tale, and went back to sleep. And that's Bernie in a nutshell, but I digress. Alma Powell, the widow of General Colin Powell, passed away recently. She was an advisor to Obama on HBCUs during his presidency and chaired a nonprofit on at-risk youth. Rest in peace to her. Woo! All the Titans are dropping like flies, child. Hide your kids, hide your wife. A lot going on. You know they say they come in threes. That's what the old folks say. That's what the old Gullah folks say. They die in threes, child. Melinda Gates endorsed Kamala Harris and donated $52 million to her campaign. Yes, big money, Gates. I love it to see it. Currently, Kamala is leading Trump in the polls 51% to 48%. But again, it is too early to focus on polls. Biden's approval rating has also significantly improved 6 points to 47%. You raggedy bastard. Anyway. I have to laugh about this shit because I cry at least once a day. I cried in the bathroom at work the other day. Like I really was going through it. I must say, the people in this country wouldn't know what is good for them if Jesus and Sky Daddy himself came down and told y'all personally. And it's a damn shame. Anyway, Biden spoke at NAACP's convention to a resounding applause, and he killed it. So why were people trying to still push him out? I will never know. One of my favorite quotes from his speech was, they're trying to erase Black history. Black history is American history. Preach, El Presidente. A Florida man was arrested by the Secret Service for threatening to slit Biden's throat. Oh, really? In recent weeks, the U.S. also received intel that there was a plot by Iran to try to assassinate Trump, and he was given more Secret Service. This plan is in no relation to Trump's attempted assassination attempt and actually occurred prior to that. Did you know Supremacy Court Justice Clarence Thomas' wife is part of the Heritage Project, the group that created Project 2025? Now you know. Vote blue. Speaking of the Supremacy Court, according to NBC News, in an interview with Fox News, Justice Neil Gorsuch highlighted the need for a fair justice system. Justice Gorsuch responded to President Joe Biden's proposal for sweeping reforms to the Supreme Court in an interview that aired Sunday, telling Biden to be careful. End quote. Is that a threat? Bruh. Auntie Maxine ate him up on Twitter. Go read her tweet. I cannot, for the love of God, Vishnu, Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, the ancestors, the universe, and all of them, vote. Just vote. And vote blue. Project 2025 plans to end free weather reports and dissolve the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. That means no hurricane warnings, no tornado warnings, no flood warnings, etc. Think about that. And again, vote blue in November. Down the line. Don't just vote top of the ticket and walk out like y'all did for Obama in 2008. Russian state TV apparently said J.D. Vance is, and I quote, Trumpier than Trump. Yeah, y'all better vote. Dozens of aging bridges in 16 states from Oregon to Massachusetts will be replaced or fixed with the help of a $5 million grant announced by the Biden administration. Thank you, Biden. Rapper Megan Thee Stallion performed at one of Kamala's rallies, and folks had a tip about that. But if you recall, Beyonce performed at Hillary's rally. So what's the difference? Exactly. Be mad at the Klan members at Trump rallies. How about that? Focus on that. Fun fact, in 2011, Trump donated $5,000 to Kamala to run for California Attorney General and gave another $1,000 in 2013. Broke bastard. So clearly he believes she is more than capable and competent to lead Americans. Clearly. She needs to put those checks on a billboard. That's what I would do. I'd put those checks on a billboard from here to Tuscaloosa, I swear to God. Another fun fact. This is the first presidential election since 1976 to not have a Clinton, Bush, or Biden on the ticket. All 23 governors endorsed Kamala this past week. CNN ratings dropped 92% after the presidential debate. Good. Rep. Terry Sewell, a black woman, co-sponsored an amendment to the Constitution that would reverse the Supreme Court's decision to make presidents immune from prosecution. Trump said at a rally that after his election, if he wins, folks will never have to vote again. What the hell does that mean? Yeah. Bruh, y'all better vote for that black lady and the teacher. Border crossings are down 55% since Biden took office. And the top two leaders of the fentanyl trafficking cartel have been arrested. It sounds like Biden been working while y'all was talking shit. Next, 90% of black voters support Harris. Shocker. Now, this is one of my favorite agenda items of the week. Rep. Cori Bush lost her primary in St. Louis, and she is the second squad member of the lunatic group of House lawmakers to lose to a more moderate Dem. Good. I hope Ocasio is next. I would love to have her seat. A judge recently clarified that Trump indeed did rape E. Jean Carroll. That's y'all president. Bruh. Kamala needs to walk out to They Not Like Us for real. Her next rally, she need to walk out to that. So someone on Twitter tweeted, Trump is a sexual predator and Vance is a sectional predator. Lord, y'all are creative. Twitter is undefeated despite Elon Musk's efforts to destroy it. We still going strong, Black Twitter. We still in there. As president, Trump hid a $19.8 million loan he received from a North Korea-linked company. I don't know who is worse, him or Clarence Thomas. Anyway, Netflix donated $7 million to Kamala Now people are canceling their subscriptions. Honey, they have deals with the Obamas, Harry and Meghan. What did you expect? Yeah. Elon Musk, the guy that ruined Twitter, pledged to donate $45 million to Trump and then reneged. The tea on the street is that he can't afford it, as Tesla isn't doing too good right now, and Twitter was a piss poor investment for him. Ha ha, karma. Apparently, anti Israel protesters invaded the Capitol building on the eve of Israel's prime minister's address to Congress. That went over terribly. A lot of Congress silently boycotted the event, claiming that they had prior arrangements. My sentiments are, can y'all protest in another building and leave the Capitol alone? It has been through enough lately. Damn, go protest in a building black people didn't build if you can find one. Good luck. The U.S. economy grew 2.8% last quarter, and the stock market has continued to see historical highs in the last 3 months. Economists say that Trump being reelected would cause an increase to inflation and kill the economy. Shocker. Biden banned non-compete clauses, and all of them will end September 4th. I know folks in tech love that one. The state of Georgia denied funding to teach AP Black Studies classes. Wow. If I had AP Black History classes in high school, that would have been the one AP exam I got a 5 on. Trump's former official, Steve Bannon, has to stand trial next month for the We Build the Wall scam in December. But wait, I previously reported that he already is in jail for 4 months over contempt charges. Damn, Trump's cronies are a bunch of damn criminals. Trump's other former aide, Scaramucci, donated $30,000 to Joe Biden and now backs Kamala. Bruh, the entire GOP is imploding in real time. I cannot. Another former Trumper, Nikki Haley, was going through it last week in an interesting turn of events. Apparently, the Nikki Haley voter PAC announced their support for Kamala. Makes sense, right? Kamala is the more qualified Indian woman of the two and actually claims to be Indian. Anyway, Nikki was not too happy about this and sent them a cease and desist. Bruh, why they told her no and fundraised $500,000 for Kamala. I love politics. You can't make this shit the fuck up. You really like $500,000. I think they raised like $450,000. Like, I cannot. Fun fact, in January, Nikki Haley said the first party to retire its 80-year-old candidate is going to win this election. Well, I hope she is right. Another fun fact, if Kamala is president for 8 years, she will likely replace 4 Supreme Court justices, including 3 Republicans, giving liberals a 6-3 supermajority. This is what we were trying to tell y'all with Hillary. Don't F this up. You see what the Supremacy Court is doing these days, right? Don't mess this up. The godforsaken blasphemous state that is Florida surpassed 23 million residents. Please let them succeed from the union, please, and be their own country. Like, y'all know I hate Florida. I cannot. There is always some shit with them. Anyway, moving on to another crazy ass state. A black woman in need of help called the police and was shot dead by them. Her name was Sonia Massey. Say her name. Rest in peace to her, but don't bank on justice because we all know how that goes. Only in America can you call the police for help and they kill you. Defund and disband their asses. Crime plummeted in NYC when NYPD refused to do their jobs and practice broken windows policing. We don't need them. They need to go flip burgers because that is all they are ever qualified to do, and that may be questionable. Oh, and the officer that killed her had a Nazi tattoo. You can't make this shit up. And someone tweeted, we are legit in the exact same situation we were in 2020. An undeniable egregious murder by police, a chaotic election, and COVID running through this bee like a Tomb Raider. And I fell out. My sentiments precisely. COVID is wild, y'all. Mask up. Because Trump said Hannibal Lecter is real at a campaign rally, and the media did not once question his cognitive ability, and somebody tweeted, "We are living in the silence of the Klan." And they did not lie. No lies were told. Then someone else tweeted, "This election is this, the AKA versus the KKK." End quote. And that is the truth. Trump had a press conference this week where he spiraled and rambled and said that his crowds are larger than Martin Luther King Jr.'s. Bruh, ain't no way in hell. So MLK Jr.'s daughter, Bernice King, got on Twitter and said she wished people would stop using her father to support fallacy and that his statement was absolutely not true. One thing about MLK kids, they stay popping off on Twitter, and I love to see it. They don't play about their daddy nor their mama. Then Bernice King tweeted a picture of the March on Washington during MLK's I Have a Dream speech. Lord, she should have did a side-by-side with Trump's non-existent inauguration crowd. But she's nice. She better than me. And that was the month in politics. Whew. Too much going on now. Back to Biden. After Biden announced that he was not running and endorsed Kamala, he gave an Oval Office speech with the support of his family and his entire staff waiting to greet him to a resounding applause when he concluded. During the speech, he said, and I quote, "I believe my actions merited a second term, but nothing is more important than saving our democracy." End quote. That's a king. I believe so too, Mr. President. I really do. This man ran for office 4 times, and this is how y'all repay him. I can't believe it. The outpouring of love Biden received after was truly remarkable from friends and foes. Although beyond well-deserved for a career political servant, but it is all bullshit. If he had received this support weeks ago, he would still be in the race. With that being said, I will conclude with this. If Kamala loses, it is not because she is incompetent and incapable. It is because this country is too racist, sexist, and xenophobic to move forward in a progressive manner. And in that case, Trump is exactly who America, with 3 Ks, deserves. I am happy and proud that Kamala will probably be our first woman president, and that she is a proud Black woman that cooks collard greens, child. It looks like the stars are aligning to have the first Black woman Supreme Court Justice Jackson swear in the first Black woman president on MLK Jr. Day. Wow, what a sight to behold. However, how this win for her came about is not as it should have been. Not the clean handoff most deserving of the first woman president. 2028 would have been the perfect time for her and would have set her up for greatness, similar to if Gore had succeeded Bill or if Hillary had preceded Obama, or ideally if Clinton would have won in succession. A girl can dream, right? But if Kamala gets the 8 years she deserves, and that Biden most certainly deserved, there will be a chance for a more perfect union. However, this presidential coup, like the others, will not be forgotten. Those involved are snakes and have to go. They need to be primaried. And Biden is better than me because I would use my bully pulpit to slaughter them every day. But he's not a lame duck, and he seems hell-bent on going out swinging, with his first move being outmaneuvering Nancy and her minions, which was quite impressive. Not so Sleepy Joe after all, eh? He beat the literal queen of political chess at her own game by quickly endorsing Kamala and not informing anyone of his decision prior to. Job well done, Mr. President. So let's see how his last 5 months in office go. I hope he gives Black people reparations. Pretty please. I love you, Mr. President. You are truly one of a kind, a decent, God-fearing, humble servant that saved the soul of this nation. We can never repay you. Thank you. Sidebar. Did y'all see what the First Lady wrote after Biden gave his speech in the Oval? She is mad as hell, as she should be. She gave up her life and part of her career to be y'all First Lady, and she didn't want to do it, but she did. She said, and I quote, "To those who never wavered, to those who refused to doubt, to those who always believed, my heart is full of gratitude. Thank you for the trust you put in Joe. Now it's time to put that trust in Kamala. Love, Jill." And scathing. Leave it to the First Lady to put the haters in their place. Melania could never. Look, no excitement for Kamala will ever quell my dismay and disdain for any and everyone that was involved with Biden not getting another 4 years, but I believe she can win, and I will always support her. But someone on Twitter said it perfectly. Kamala Harris can beat Trump. Here's my worry. Harris can't beat the media, beat the donors, beat the PACs, beat the Supreme Court, beat the snakes in the party, and beat Trump at the same time. End quote. Hence why Biden stepped aside. It's too much. It's too many battles. But it seems that with the art of the surprise, she already beat them. Ha ha ha. Before I let you go, I have meant to shout out folks in Germany and Brussels that consistently listen to the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Or as they say in Germany, danke. Or mercy, as they say in Belgium. Thank you for listening to my political pontification. If you liked it, loved it, or hated it, please tell a friend to tell a friend, and please check out my website, thepoliticaltea.com. You can generously donate to my chai latte habit on it.